Saka with that one, and it is the desired result for Arsenal and for Leandro Trossard. Consistently their most effective route to goal, and it yields another.
I'm going to record on here, and I'm going to record on here, and then I'm recording. Okay, good.
Can you see me all right?
Yeah, just the head and glasses. Actually, I lie. It's actually top half of the head and glasses. Nose and above, really, you know.
They are.
Good. Like it. I
You
like
see
it a
my
lot.
boobs now.
I love it. All right. Should we get started? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it because it's overdue. It's overdue. So hello
It is,
and
mate.
welcome. Yeah, all that stuff. And welcome to a
Probably
brand
more.
new episode. A brand new one. Nothing's changed since the last one. Just been a while. Stevie, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you, sir?
Yeah, you know what? I'm good. We're recording this on a Monday, so we've had a full spectrum of the weekend. We had a full view of it, and I loved every bit of it in football terms. It could have been obviously, you know, even sweeter if City lost, but the fact that our main rivals got slapped yet again, it was a very good one. Yeah, it was a very good weekend. You probably going through the same things, and you've read other things out there just to, you know, join in the jubilance of the win. But I mean, how did you make of the weekend? You happy with it? Or?
Yes, obviously we can look at the City result as a one team that ruined our weekend, but everything else, every other team, every other result kind of went for us, didn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely worked in our favour, and I don't think in seasons gone by, in these situations, we've always been a bit skeptical, haven't we? Like, you know, ooh, our rivals sort of losing and we didn't pick up any points. But the good thing is, in this situation, that we played before them, and it maybe not as much pressure as it would have been if it was the other way around. If they'd lost and then we played. So, you know, that's a scenario that I hate, and we've never done well under that stress. But yeah, fortunately for us, we came out on top, and it was a brilliant weekend, still top of the table, and it was incredible. It was incredible. When I say incredible, obviously I mean, like, you know, results overall. We'll dive into the match itself and so on. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's 3 points in the bag, and it's against a team that we haven't fared very well in recent times, have we really? So
No.
no. And again, look, you know, they still went at us. It was still a frightening-ish match, because they did have chances, and they have a player in Raul Jimenez who has caused us heartbreak before and many times, and he's a player that, again, I just hate us playing against, because he will find a goal somehow. But yeah, look, it was a good performance, steady performance. I'm going to use the word mature again. I know we've used that in the last in a few episodes, but overall, what do you think? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting carried away.
Against that opposition, I mean.
Yeah, it's early days. It's 7 or 8 games. We're you know, like you said earlier, it's good the fact that we're top still. You know, we've not played catch up, because I think that sometimes does play on the players' minds. You know, we've got to win to sort of stay in touch. Now, I wrote a blog which I haven't posted yet, which I'll mention to you, and you just say exactly them words. It's bizarre, the fact that you've actually said that. Let me just find it. Where are we?
You know, it's like we know what we're talking about sometimes, even when we're not talking about it.
Let me have a look. Go on, you carry on.
Well, no, this is
find it.
It's going to be a shameless plug, really. So, you know, this is why people should be listening to us, because we know these things, all right? We know things, okay? People talk to us.
No, I think my blog's going to be steady as she goes. And it's basically just exactly what you're saying. You know, it's early days. We're 7 or 8 games in. We are, you know, we're sitting top of the league with 3 points clear of probably who I feel Man City are going to be our closest rivals. I understand Liverpool haven't actually hit top gear or anything like what they were last season. But City, to me, probably are going to be our closest rivals. And I'm glad that they actually play Liverpool in 2 weeks' time, because it's going to be a great kind of barometer to see where they are in terms of, because last season Liverpool beat them home and away, didn't I think?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
no, I think it was. I think one of the matches was a draw. I believe. No. Pretty sure
I thought
one of the matches was a draw. Or did they get? That I'm not too sure on. Now you're asking some questions. Those are the real important questions right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
But either way, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I think that's basically, you know, the title of my blog post. It was City She Goes, because as much as we're top of the league, and like you say, we're 3 points clear, we're 4 points clear Liverpool. So now that's a bonus that we could, because they played before us on Friday night against Brentford. So the beauty about that is, even if they win, they're still going to be a point behind. So there's not much pressure, but they could draw, they could get beat. And it's great, but like you say, I'm not counting my chickens. We were 8 or 9 points clear 2 seasons ago, and we had to be nigh on perfect, and we weren't. We'd lost 1 or 2 out of 16, which unfortunately came back, and we got beat by a point off Man City. So it's one game at a time, isn't it? And as much as I'm really, really happy, the performance was shit. To be fair, it was just a workman-like performance, which we'll come into. But like you say, I think it was just a job that we had to do. It wasn't nothing special. It was just get the 3 points, and that's what it's going to be like all season. Don't care how we play it, just get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, what I like most about this, and I alluded to it earlier, was the fact that it's against this opposition. Where last year and the year before we've struggled, and they've been a bogey team for us. Every time we played them, they've been a bogey team. So and we did that this season already against Newcastle. We've done it against West Ham, and now we've done it against Fulham as well. So I'm just going to play a little clip from.
Just before you go, obviously we got beat off Fulham last season. It was a draw. Palace beat us at home. I know Eze scored, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe they did.
It was a volley, wasn't it?
I think, was it 2-1? I want to say. I don't know. You're asking questions now. I am absolutely not prepared for these questions, I'm afraid. I've got my notes from the match. That's all I can give you, I'm afraid.
Go on, fire away.
No, before I was going to say, I mean, I'm just going to play a little clip from the Arteta post-match interview that he gave. I think it was on Match of the Day. BBC. So yeah, we'll just have a quick listen, and then we'll just see what we think about it. All right. Maybe you can hear that. I don't know.
The team gets wins like this, like tonight.
Yeah, it's very good. Really tough place to come. Really good sign. We knew that. We experienced it in the last few years. I think we've done a lot to win the game. We put a lot into it, and we had some difficulties, some giveaways in the first half and certain transitions. I think we overcome that and became much more dominant through the game. And it was against like a really good organized team, insisting, being like a hammer in a reaction. And at the end, through that and insisting, we find a way to score the goal.
Yeah, you mentioned the giveaways in the first half. There was some really good defending from them as well. They were very compact. But what do you feel it was difficult, took you time to really get going that first half?
Well, the simplicity in certain aspects with the ball, especially that we gave the ball away and allow certain transitions. Then we have to change a little bit the structure as well to facilitate certain things for us, and that gives us more fluidity as well. And then it takes time as well. Against that block, the longer it goes with the 0-0, not even if they score a goal, because they've been together for many years and they know how to adapt that. But we created some big chances as well, and we scored a few more goals. So overall, very happy.
I think obviously a few points in there that you mentioned about Fulham being compact and just being organised, and I think that's what it is about Fulham as a side, that they have been very organised as a team, and they can hurt you, and especially a team like Arsenal who like to play further up the pitch. and they have the players to absolutely murder us on the counter attack. And it didn't happen in this occasion, and some of them did come on in the second half, so they didn't have the correct players at the right time. Like if they had a Traore, for example, in the first half when they had the dominance in the first 20 minutes, I think could have been a bit of a different story, a bit of a different threat, because you'll have him bombing down the right or the left, for example, then you have Jimenez running in the middle. Iwobi's doing the same on the other side. So I think obviously I was going to say Arteta's right. Obviously he's right because he's a fucking manager. So you know what I mean? He gets paid for that. He's a professional, and we are nobodies. But yeah, I think that's what I was more excited about, the fact that we just overcame a team as well organised and as compact as Fulham. Fulham? Fucking hell, what is going on?
Fulham.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's almost Christmas. We're going to have full ham and turkey as well, really. But until then, really.
Some West Ham of your own.
Okay, I'm done talking about that because I clearly am thinking about food. So please jump in at any point.
I think what Arteta is kind of thinking is, obviously when you have an international break, sometimes it's really, really difficult for the teams to come back because he hasn't had much time with them, and the flow just doesn't seem to be there. You saw Saka give the ball away quite a few times. Gabriel was a bit nervous in defence, and you just think to yourself, is that down to the fact they've just come back from wherever they played in Brazil or whatever? And I think personally the team. Well, the team takes at least 2 weeks to gel. That's why I hate internationals, because they get into the flow, then there's a break, and then that game, then they come back from the international break. Oh, seems a bit higgledy-piggledy. I mean, I was screaming at the TV at one point, but yeah, obviously now we've got the players and we've got the mentality where we can cope with this transition from international to back to the Premiership. And away from home it's tricky because obviously Fulham are at home. They were wanting to impress, and yeah, like you said, if they had the probably better, fullest team out, we could have been in trouble. They had a couple of chances where, we didn't face a shot on target, but they did have a few chances where it went over the bar, went up for corners and things like that. So yeah, I think we stand in strong, which is the main thing, especially in these times where, historically we've been poor against the team like Fulham and Newcastle, haven't we?
But I think you're absolutely right with that, and I think the fact that we have those players, it's showing, game by game, it's showing that yes, we have made some good decisions in terms of the market that obviously that we've spent a lot of money on, and yeah, it's, how do I put it into words? It's not the same fear of playing these teams because of all the aspects that we've just mentioned. I mean, so it hasn't been one thing in particular. Like, it hasn't been Gyökeres and then that's it, the team sorted. No, it's been the little additions, like even the Calafioris who didn't have a great season last season. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's all these little players coming into their own and actually building the team for us to actually go out there and beat Fulham and West Ham and Newcastle, which again, just you wouldn't have thought last year, and it obviously didn't happen, and we just feared those teams because it was either a ref's decision or fucking extra added time when it's 0-0 in favor of whoever and whatever, throwing or whatever it was. But so now it's I feel like, again, without getting too excited, I feel like we're sort of turning that corner and utilizing everything that we have at our disposal, and we've got other players to come into the team as well, which are going to add a little bit more depth and a bit more technical skill, if you will. And in terms of real quick on Gyökeres, I know we're going to talk some player ratings, but when Havertz comes back, there's the option of a Havertz / Marino to come on, if the worst happens, sort of thing. So again, there's a little bit of cushion even for Gyökeres, where he doesn't have to feel that pressure too much, where it's like, oh, they're relying on me to score all the goals. It's like, okay, well, take a breather, let's take you out for one match. We've got Havertz, we've got Marino, potentially Martinelli can play in there as well. But
Yeah, I mean, with Gyökeres, obviously, before we move on to him at some point, I just think with Gyökeres, I think when Havertz is back and he does play, I think we'll realise how good Gyökeres has actually been for us as a alternative threat for the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, and players like that, because there's so much focus on him. You know, I hope that he starts scoring soon, because otherwise people just think, no, he is shit, we can leave him. But that's when it'll open up and he will score. But I just think we will notice the difference when Havertz plays, because he isn't the aggressive striker that's going to bully 2 or 3 defenders. So, you know, as much as I want Havertz to come back as an alternative, I don't think he will be the number 9. And that, I think our focus and our tactics will probably change slightly, won't they?
Yeah. I mean, change rather. Well, I don't know about change. I think more adapt because of the.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, there's too many mutes. I've got the mute here and then I've got the mute here. Okay, yeah. So I don't think it's more different. I think it's just adapting the different players that we have to come in around the tactics. Wow, 1 second. Wow, I nearly died there.
Out of your throat.
Don't know what happened there. So I think that's what. I will say that's what makes me happy, because I've already said it many times, and again now it's just we're seeing it live on TV, and you know it's actually working, and I don't want to get ahead of myself and start screaming about it, but yeah, I think it's just the fact that he's adapting tactics, and again when the player comes off, that doesn't mean oh my god they have to slot in the exact same player in that position. No, it can move, which actually brings me nicely to the match itself, and there's a few things that I wasn't happy with, right? And we'll talk about the good stuff. You know, the good stuff is the good stuff, but a few things I wasn't happy with from what I watched, especially just this match. You know, isolated. Eze, right? I don't know what he was doing that match, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me, please.
Yeah, obviously he's one of your favourite players, and I think you were, as well as me, really made up the fact that he'd signed for us, because obviously he's such a maverick type player, but it seems as though he hasn't got the bit between his teeth yet, to use an analogy, if you know what I mean. That like urgency, it's like he's laid back. He seems to be getting a bit overran. It's like he's trying too hard to take 10 players on. Do you know what I mean? And he's getting caught in possession and putting the team under a bit of pressure. And I think he just needs to play the simple game, and the rest will come, if you know what I mean. I think he's trying to be too clever, personally, if you know what I mean. Like, instead of just laying the ball off initially, it's like, right, I'll pretend to take someone on, then I'll feign one way and go back, and then 3 players around, he's lost the ball. So I'm a bit concerned about that. I know it's early days. It's a new club. It's a new setup, etc., etc. But someone needs to have a quiet word with him and say, look, you know, let's do the basics first, and the flair will come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, playing. I think against Fulham, I think he was playing too deep, and he was trying to replicate what Odegaard does exactly, and I feel that's not as a strength, and I think it showed. The little tricks and flares that he can do, and he's very good at, I think they are better done further up the field, just outside the box, and not really in that no man's land between halfway and their box. You know what I mean? That's kind of like no man's land, because you've got a lot of space, but because you've got that much space, you don't really need to start doing flicks and tricks. Just do a simple pass. If you're outside the box and you know you've got that chance to potentially go at goal, then by all means try it. But for me, especially in this match, I feel like he lost too many balls, right? And I think that is because he was playing too deep. He was in an unfamiliar role, which I've only seen him play that role in this match, right? Like every time he's been he's played in the other matches, he's either been a bit more further up, advanced at free roaming, and just in that little channel where the box sort of starts. Or coming in from the left or right sort of thing. But I've never seen him play that deep before, even for Palace. Like, he never really played that role. And I think, yes, he is good with the ball, but unfortunately there's different footballing brains throughout the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Like Zubimendi, for example, if you put him in the Eze role, like the normal Eze role. I don't think he'll do that as well. Same as Eze can't really do what Zubamendi does. You know what I mean? Like there's different school of thoughts for the different positions that players that players are playing, and I feel like with Eze he sort of started drifting from the attacking midfielder to a deep line midfielder or a deep line playmaker. It's like, well, that's not really what he does. And this is something that we were actually concerned with when we signed Eze. It's like, well, what's Arteta going to do with him? Is he just going to let him loose, or is he going to tell him in some matches to do what he did against Fulham? And yeah, we kind of predicted it. Arteta is that type of guy where it's like, okay, well, it's not really working in my favour, or we're playing away now and I need to play a bit more conservative. I'm going to ask my player in Eze to play deeper. It's like, well, you've got other players for that. Do you know what I mean? Like if you can get Rice to play in that deeper role and then let Eze go a bit further up and just let him be free, sort of thing.
I suppose you're right there, and this is ultimately where Arteta will either he'll die by the sword, or he'll whatever the saying is. I think that he got his tactics wrong on Saturday. I know he won, so that should be out the window and irrelevant, but I do think he played the wrong personnel in the wrong positions. I personally think he should have had Eze on the left instead of Trossard. I know Trossard scored, but that's by the by. And I think he should have obviously Eze, he's better when he's running with the ball and he's going past players, he's tricky, etc., etc. But he was very static, I thought, in that central role, because we had so much possession. He was so laid back. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because he was, like you say, he was so deep, the fact that he couldn't influence the game and he had to try stupid things and people were like closing him down. He would have been better off putting someone like Norgard in that position, like as holding, and played Zubamendi and Rice slightly in front, had Eze on the left, Saka on the right, Gyökeres in the middle. But it just didn't flow, and it was very, very kind of negative, as usual, boring, build up, play, pass, and that doesn't suit Eze. So, live by the sword, die by the sword, and I think, Arteta needs to work this out pretty quickly. I'm hoping he does, but as you know my thoughts on Arteta, I don't think we can still do it because the way he is in his mindset and how he sets the team up. So, don't get me wrong. We won, and that's the main thing. He could have said, "Look, Tottenham play great football, Liverpool play good football, but they both lost." So it's like, do you know what I mean?
Oh God, where are we? I'm glad that we're in full agreement, by the way, because I was watching. I was thinking, am I seeing this right? Because every time I keep looking up, I keep seeing Eze losing the ball and doing this and finding himself in weird positions. So I really hope that this is a one-off, and I'll be honest, right? I personally don't think Arteta got the tactics wrong. I think maybe when it comes to Eze himself, I think that's where he probably got the sort of the wrongest. Because everyone else is kind of in the positions that they need to be, and they were doing exactly what they need to do, and what we've seen them do before. But because Eze was kind of like distanced from the match, do you know what I mean? He was a bit sort of detached from it in comparison to everyone else. That's why it felt like Rice and Zubamendi were sort of all over the place, and that's why it felt like, again, Rice was all over. And for me, I thought he had a good game, to be honest. Rice, contender for man of the match, but I think you probably know who my man of the match is going to be. Anyway, we'll get to it. But so I think the Eze role, I think that's what he got wrong. Everything else was sort of working, but however, because of Eze being wrong, that didn't free up Saka as much. And I know everyone's praised him, and these guys are giving him man of the match. Whatever, right? I don't know how he's done that, but whatever. So because of that, I felt like Saka's game was hampered a little bit, especially in the first half. Because after that, during the second half, we just completely dominated, to be honest. But I don't think he got them totally wrong. I just think that one position, which is a very important position, and again, if you get it wrong, it will actually ruin the rest of the match for you. Because I feel like if Odegaard played there instead of Eze in this particular match, I think we would have been 2-3 up, because there would have been a lot more creativity coming through. And again, Odegaard, fortunately, he can play a deep line playmaker. He can pick up the ball. He can be that point guard, like in basketball terms. He can be that point guard. He can spray everything around. So apart from that, I feel like it was like a normal Arteta away game, or from at least this season's away games from what we've seen from him. A bit more conservative. It's like, all right, we'll just play for the 1-0. And even though we had chances, it still felt like we were playing for the 1-0. The fact that we didn't score, it's like, well, those were our bonus chances. We weren't expecting these, but we got them. We didn't finish them, and in the end, it looked like we struggled for a 1-0, but we didn't struggle. I thought we after the first 20 minutes of the match itself, I thought we were on top. But yeah, so just real quick, just to round off on Eze, I hope this doesn't really carry on into other matches. Or I just let him be. Let the guy be. If you're gonna play Eze in deep line midfield or deep playmaker sort of thing, just play someone else. Use Zubimendi in that role, Norgard, and so on.
Yeah, I think Arteta needs to find the right way to play him, not necessarily in the right position, like you say, because when I look back at great number 10s, obviously the likes of probably Ozil, the last person that springs to mind, where he was absolute genius in midfield. So he'd run with the ball, he would set up players up, he flicks tricks, he was just like the complete sort of creative midfielder, wasn't he? And I think Ranieri's probably more, and probably Max Dauman are more suited to that Odegaard style of play, if you know what I mean. Whereas Eze is more of a what sort of play I'm trying to... A bit like Bellingham, isn't he? He's a bit similar, like laid back, very calm and cool on the ball, but not necessarily quick-footed and nimble, and it's very, very tricky. So this is Arteta's got to get right. We've got so many attacking players that I think that he can't not get it right, because he's got that many. He could just think, well, it's not working with Eze, let's just get Ranieri, or it's not working with Ranieri, let's get Odegaard or Dalman on, or Madueke, all these players that have got to come back. I think he's got to find the right solution for Eze, because he is a talent, he's an unbelievable talent, but it's get him in the number 10, get him in the number 9, get him further forward, swap with Rice, let Rice just sit back instead of, it was the other way around. I'm thinking, well, Rice, as great as he was, and he was all over, he should be letting Eze, all the skillful players, play in that forward position. I know he set Gyökeres up for one chance, Eze, so we can't deny that. And if he'd have scored, we'd have been thinking, great player. So,
well, like I said, I'm just glad that we're in a bit of agreement with about Eze, to be honest. And the way that you said at the beginning, you were like, "Oh, I know he's your favorite player." It's like, he's going to talk some shit about Eze here. But no, that's fine. I agree with everything that you said. I will contradict myself, though, real quick. Just moving on to Declan Rice, because I brought here Rice poor, but then I said that Rice was actually a contender of man of the match. The Rice poor, that was well within that first 20-minute period. So I'm looking back now and I'm thinking, I was watching this match thinking, I'm a bit negative here. Right? So I wrote down all the negative stuff.
To be fair, like you said, the first 20 minutes, the whole team were poor.
Poor, yeah. It couldn't link up play, especially our midfield was just so bad. And again, I thought we were overrun really in the midfield. I thought they played fantastic in the midfield for the first 20 minutes, and then until we got a grip of the game. That Josh King guy, he was quite good. He had a chance, I think. Was it from outside the box or something? Nearly beat Raya.
It was a cross, but it was going in. So he had to sort of look after it, didn't he?
Yeah, so I thought that was quite close. And again, that came within that opening period. And the fact that we survived it is just, again, fills me with confidence. But I'm not going to get over ahead of myself. The one thing I did want to bring up before we actually start looking, obviously, into player ratings, we still heavily right-sided, aren't we? And it's I don't know how I feel about that. That doesn't really sit well with me, even though we've been winning. It just doesn't sit well with me, because all it takes is just a quick shutdown of that right hand side. That's it. At the end.
It is a problem, and I think partly down to the fact is the players believe that Saka is the messiah in a way. I think everything seems to be drawn to the right, doesn't it? Like, let's give it to Odegaard and he'll lay it out to Saka and he'll create something, he'll take a player on. But, Trossard he was so ineffective other than the goal, which we'll obviously talk about. But what did he actually do? It went to him, and it was just I was looking at the screen in frustration, thinking, what on earth is happening here? And like you say, it's so predominantly right-sided that you think to yourself, when Madueke comes back, are they going to change it and put Saka on the left or what? It is like you say. It's so predominantly right-sided, and is there anything going to change, or is that just the way forward until we get it sorted on the left? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's something that we genuinely thought it was going to be addressed in the summer, and I feel like it was kind of with the addition of Eze, but the fact that Odegaard is injured and Havertz is injured, just again, it puts us in a very awkward situation where it's like, well, we kind of have to revert back to our base playing style, which is our foundation, really, isn't it? Like, and then we build on top of that.
But is he shoehorn? I mean, obviously there's Wanyeri and Dalman were on the bench. They could have come into midfield for Odegaard, and he could have put Eze on the left. But is he shoehorn Trossard in because he's got like a bit of a matey relationship? You don't know, do you? Like, that time he put Partey at right back, and everyone was moaning that we'd only won one in so many games with Partey. That it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because like you say, I would have preferred to see Eze on the left and Wanyeri in Odegaard's position, but we're not the manager, and that's why we sat here doing a pod with one view.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like I said. I mean, when the rest of the team are not linking up well, and then the right hand side is predominantly, again, within that opening period, wasn't linking up well. It just doesn't. Again, that's like your substitute tactics gone as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we had this. Oh, okay, we can't play like that. Let's go back to our base. Oh, we can't play like that either because we're getting absolutely overrun on the right because of Saka. It's like, they know what you're gonna do. Saka's free. You go block him. That's it. End of story. And the fact that again, someone like an Eze wasn't making those runs off that right channel into the box very often, then nothing. Of course, nothing was going to work. And yeah, look, obviously we're sitting here and we're happy that we obviously got the goal and we won. And you ask a very good question: what did Trossard do for the majority of the match? He didn't. And for the goal, he didn't. He was lucky, really, wasn't he? He was kind of bounced off his thigh. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, of course, very happy that we've got the win. But I just don't want it to be like that whole Unai Emery situation, 22 unbeaten, but we just played like fucking garbage. And we haven't really. I thought we played all right in the last few matches. Maybe the away games we need to step up a little bit just so we can be a bit safer rather than just go for the 1-0. Which again, I get it, but like the Fulham match, we should have been 3-4-0 by the end of that game. But we weren't because we just didn't take the chances. Our strikers didn't take the chances, and not anyone. And then this is why people, pundits and opposition fans going, set piece FC. It's because they are mad that we are literally stealing a win, from a corner or from a free kick or just a set piece in general. So, but again, I'm not going to be mad at that, as we've said before. Shit, be smarter as a team. You know what I mean? Use your brain. Get better at set pieces, and you'll get those goals. And again, I feel like this is going to be the difference. Unless City go on one of their runs, I think this is probably going to be how the season is going to go. Do you know what I mean? We go away, we sort of play conservatively, get the 1-0, then at home we play a bit freer, go away. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's sort of, I think it's going to be those two sort of cycles of play that we're going to go through, and I just hope there's variations to it. That's all I hope.
Yeah, I think what worries me, and a bit, I watched obviously the Liverpool game yesterday, and Isak struggled. I mean, the front three, even Salah struggled. But what I think worries me about us, which is similar to Liverpool, is they have so much possession. We have so much possession, and our flair players, the Gyökeres, the Eze, that type of style just doesn't suit them. And it was the same with Isak. If you think when he was at Newcastle, he was always running into space, and he had plenty of space because Newcastle didn't have much possession. Whereas Liverpool and Arsenal, we have a lot of possession, so it's breaking teams down, and I think that's not playing to those players' strengths. We could have Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, to be fair, and he would do the same sort of job as Gyökeres. I know he's not as good finisher, but he's that similar player. He put Marino up last year. He scored 9 goals, didn't he, or something like that. He's not a prolific goal scorer. it's just the way we play, and that's what worries me. We have to find different ways of attack, whether that's bringing teams onto us, because at the minute we are totally dominant in possession, but it's not bringing out the best in our forward line. So a bit of a concern, and I'm hoping that as the season progresses, like you say, that things do change, and he breaks it up and he tries different tactics, plays in different positions and things like that. But at the moment we're 7 or 8 games in, and I know we're top of the league, and you can't moan at it, but it's just a concern for moving forward. Like you say, if City go on that 20-game unbeaten run, they'll probably pull away.
Which it can happen because it's Pep Guardiola, and the Pep Guardiola team is never out of reach for that. So, I think you're right, and the fact that now, I don't want to say it's becoming clear because it hasn't, but I can sort of see why Arteta was a bit reluctant to spend on a striker, because he kind of had that thinking that you were just saying there. It's like, well, my team doesn't really need a striker the way I play. Which is all well and good, the tactics have worked. We've been second for 3 seasons. He's done something right. But you are absolutely correct. I feel now the change needs to be in the tactics. You've got the personnel. Now you just need to make sure that you change your tactics to adapt to that player. And the fact that, and he hasn't been bad, Gyökeres. Obviously, we need him to score. That goes without saying. But I feel like even Alan Shearer said the same thing, and do you know what? I've actually got that little clip. If you want to hear it, I can play that clip for you, and you let me know what you think.
He's probably saying, like you say, exactly what we think, and I think I do know a bit about football, and what Shearer is probably going to say is that he does so much difference. He does so much that you don't see. Like, yes, he doesn't score, but he creates probably a lot of spacing behind defenders and things like that, which creates space for the other players. And like I said, I'm happy with that. I don't care if he doesn't score again if we win the league, and that's all that matters, isn't it? I'd like to see him score, and I think he will score eventually, because, like I say, you'll get a free and they'll get tired. I just think he will. But yeah, go on, play the clip. Let's have a listen.
I mean, spoiler alert, by the way. You could have called spoiler alert on that. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry.
Okay, for the people who haven't heard the clip, I will play the clip because I've already promised it. Now I'm hoping there's going to be the right button, all right? Because I've got like 4 different buttons here. So, right, hold on. I hope that's
coming
right.
in. Might have known it.
Trossard, isn't it?
There's Trossard at the far post, the back post.
See, that was the Fulham comms, by the way, which I had to sneak in there. I had to sneak them in there. It's that, for me, it's that, oh no. And again, this is just linking back to the set pieces. That's what he was saying oh no to. It's like, oh, fuck, another set piece. So when I heard that clip, I just thought I had to play it. Right, okay, let me just see if I can find the right one, because like I said, I've got another one here. I think this is the one. Where are we? Play, there we go. Eventually.
Long we were hearing they really need a centre forward. They need somebody who can,
Oh, what happened?
Long we were hearing they really need a centre forward. They need somebody who can, bag them a load of goals. They buy the centre forward in Gyökeres, and he hasn't got the goals, but has he helped improve them?
Yeah, he hasn't got the goals. I mean, he's not in the league as of the 3 we showed in the previous clip. Far from that, but I think he brings a different strength. There's no doubt that he will have to improve his goal scoring. As you said, he's only got 3. But one of his strengths, which has suited Arsenal, is he actually goes the other way. He goes in behind. And I think when he does that, that then creates space for others to play, because last season you had maybe Havertz or Marino coming short, and that's easier for teams to defend against. But when you're running the other way, they get deeper and deeper. That then opens the space up for others to play. So I think from that point of view, he has improved Arsenal.
And I think I'm glad, right? The whole reason for that clip is because we've been defending Gyökeres since the beginning, and the fact that someone like an Alan Shearer comes out and pretty much just echoes what we're saying, it just again fills me with confidence that my eyes are working and my brain is computing what it's seeing. But yeah, exactly what you said there, Stevie. Just sort of, we could have had him on, really. We could have just given him a quick call and be like, yo, Big Al. No, I'm just kidding. It would be fun though. But yeah, there's no real surprise, and I think by now others have seen what Gyökeres is doing. But obviously, ultimately, he's going to get judged on the goal scoring, and you can't get away from that. That's just, that's what being a striker is. That's how you get measured as a striker. So, but yeah, we will obviously touch back up on Gyökeres during the player ratings. Now, in terms of the match itself, there was a couple of shouts, a couple of penalty shouts, I feel. One of them being, there was around the 56th minute, Gyökeres goes down. But obviously, the fact that he sort of stayed up enough, I think that's why it wasn't given, because I think if he went down straight away, I think that was probably a penalty. But even watching that live, you kind of, the first time you look at it, you go, yeah, I don't think so, mate. I feel like he probably could have stayed on his feet a little bit, but I think maybe halfway he realised, I could just go down here, but I feel like it was a bit too late. I don't know, what did you make of that? Did you think that was the right call?
I think when we were both obviously texting each other on the match, I do think that, like you say, if he'd have gone down, it would have been it should have been a penalty. But like we both say, VAR had a look at it and waved it away. It's like, there you go again, clear penalty, but they wave it away. Anything that's potentially a penalty would be waved away. But if it was against us, they'd do anything to actually find a fault with it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, pisses me off. But like I say, I can't be that pissed off because we won in the end. But yeah, I think he did try and stay on his feet, didn't he? But I think there was another. Is that the one where he actually did fall over and he didn't get anything? Oh, I can't remember. No, it was one where he got a shot in, wasn't it? That one. There was two incidents, wasn't there? There was one where the ref kind of just shook his head and waved it away, and the ball went out. And I think that one that you're alluding to there was, he got fouled, but he stayed on his feet even though he stumbled. Which probably should have gone down, but he's a big, strong bloke, and he would have looked probably a bit awkward falling down, and a bit like Havertz does.
Yeah, just an awkward fall, and I think they probably would have got a yellow card for diving, to be honest, because it's so ridiculous. Look, I don't think that was. I think that was the right decision that the ref made, to be honest. I don't think that was penalty worthy because of the way that it happened. But obviously, if he'd gone down when he was supposed to go down, then I think penalty all day long, and I don't think VAR would have turned that, to be honest. But then again, we'll get on to the second penalty shout, and before we do get on that, right, I do actually have Ian Wright discussing that penalty. So before I get your opinion, we'll go to Ian Wright in the studio. Mr. Wright, we'll get to you. Right, okay. So yeah, let's have a listen to Ian, and just let me know what you think afterwards.
Is that we see him get a little touch on the ball, but what they should show is the contact on the knee first. And I'm talking about dealing with the margins. Now, there it is there, right? And then, we're dealing with, like, when you look at this ball, look at the margins of where he's touched the ball, it's the same. Yeah. So how can it not be a penalty for the touch on the knee, but it can be not be given for that minuscule touch on the ball? I'm confused with it now.
Right. I want your opinion first, by the way, on that Saka penalty, or non-penalty in this case.
Right. I'm going to say it should have been a penalty. Right.
Okay.
Now I'm just going to try and look up the rules in the FA UEFA. It's Law 14 apparently. I was just getting it there when I was talking to you there, but everyone's been saying no, he got the ball, right? But if you get the man first, I think there was an incident yesterday. I haven't had a chance to find out which one it was. I think it might have been Gakpo, and he got tackled. I can't remember which way around it was. I instantly thought straight away, what's the difference between that and Saka's? He got tackled, or he got the ball after he got the man. Now I can't remember. I'll have to get the clip back up, and I'll have to find it later on. But my instant thoughts were it was a penalty. I thought initially it was outside the box when I first looked at it, so I thought, well, that's what they're checking for. But it's like they're checking everything, like the Gyökeres, they're checking everything to not give Arsenal a penalty. They're trying to find anything. Now, why don't they just stick with that on-field decision? Because why were they looking for, he touched the ball? So he touched the ball afterwards. He fouled him first, and then he got where was Saka supposed to go? I know you were saying that you think it was a penalty and the right decision. Well, go on. I'll let you go on.
Okay.
On.
I think initially when I saw it live, I screamed out, "Nah, that's not a penalty!" Right? Not because I felt like it was outside the box. I saw that it was sort of in the box, but I was like, that doesn't look like a penalty to me. And I watched it again, and yes, he touches the ball 100%. And up until I watched Match of the Day 2 last night, or the night before, last night, that's when I was like, right, okay, I think it should have been a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Because initially I was like, I don't think that's a penalty. Let's just move on. I don't think so. But then watching that carefully, you're absolutely right, and Ian Wright is absolutely right, just like his namesake, right? The knee touches, like the players touch first, and then Kevin gets the ball, and I think the rule clearly does state that if the player getting fouled before the ball, that is a foul, that is a penalty in this case because it was inside the box. And again, when they went to VAR, I thought they were just checking if it was inside the box, So again, and obviously looking back, it was definitely inside the box, so that confirmed what I saw with my eyes. But then afterwards, it was just like, right, what the hell? How were they not going to give this because of a minuscule touch? But yeah, it felt like they made a fair point during the VAR review. I'll be honest, it felt like they made a fair point. I saw the replays a few times, but then there was
sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to quickly find something. Yes, it is still a penalty kick, even if a player gets fouled in the box and subsequently the player gets the ball, because the foul committed in the penalty area is the primary offence. Yeah. The fact that the fouler recovers the ball does not negate the initial foul. Yeah. The referee should award a penalty if the foul would have resulted in a direct free kick outside the box. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if it was outside the box, would it have been a foul?
It would have been a free kick. It would have given the free kick without even a VAR review. Obviously.
Yeah, so I don't understand how that's the wrong decision.
And I agree. And I have, since the game, I've changed my mind, and I feel like it 100% should have been a penalty because of, again, what you've just described there. From their own laws, by the way. That's not something that you've written down. That's not something that you made up from ChatGPT. That is literally taken from their rules and regulations of the match and officiating. So I don't know what was going through the head of VAR apart from, hi, it's Arsenal, fuck them. I think that sounds about right, doesn't it? And so, yeah, we got shafted once again. But again, for me, unfortunately, it was a bit too late for me to realise that we got shafted because I was screaming, that's not a penalty.
Because didn't the same thing happen with
Gyökeres? Pope, yeah, absolutely, exactly.
Because if you get the ball afterwards, then it's irrelevant. You're getting the ball. If you get the ball first, then the man. I understand that. I'm happy with that. But man, then ball. It's pretty logical and straightforward, isn't it? And so what he got the ball after, fuck's sake.
I think the Nick Pope Gyökeres one was a slightly different because you could see Pope did get the ball first, but in him getting the ball first, his knee was blocking Gyökeres, so it's like, well, he couldn't have gone anywhere.
Well, he fouled him, didn't he?
Yeah, he fouled him.
Gyökeres wouldn't have fell over.
Exactly. So again, with that one, they kind of hid behind, Pope touched the ball first, and technically he did touch the ball first, but then again, I remember from that episode you said, well, where the hell was where was he meant to go?
Yeah,
he can't switch sides. He would have gone round Pope either way. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, with this one, I think it was a bit more egregious because of the fact that he clearly the knees touch first before the ball, and yeah, I don't know, they may come out with an apology, which I'll be honest, I don't really care for. But the good thing is that we won, and that's the main thing. So I'm not gonna go too much into the penalty, but I just thought it was interesting. So again, when I got the clip of Ian Wright, I was in disagreement with Ian Wright, but then after watching it again, that's when I was like, right, no, he was actually correct. So apologies to Ian Wright. If you ever listen now, that we apologize. And but yeah, I don't think there was anything else from the match itself. Is there anything else that sort of popped out to you, Stevie, that you wanna discuss?
No, not really. I'm just obviously trying to find more information on the. I know Sky did it, didn't they? Dermot Gallagher and someone else, and I think they admitted that it should have been a penalty. So, yeah, you get some right, you get some wrong, I suppose. But it just seems to be anything that do VAR, it's always in unfavourable towards Arsenal.
Yeah, always. And it's been proven. It's been proven.
I don't know. I've lost caring really, because I say anything that is when it goes to VAR, you kind of know the outcome really when it's against Arsenal. What was the one that actually overturned? Was it the Villa game where they went to VAR and he actually went back on his decision? Was it the Villa game? Was it going to be a penalty or something?
Can't remember.
Anyway,
we do really need to write these down. Jeez, or listen to our podcast for God's sake. Man.
We're out there a bit better, don't we?
We're out there preaching to people. Please listen to our podcast. We need to listen to our own. Fucking hell. All right. Okay.
I think it's because it's been a couple of days since the actual event. We had a bit of technical issues yesterday, didn't we?
We did. We certainly did, and we found the culprit was TikTok spying on you. So people out there who have TikTok installed on your laptop, please uninstall it, or from your phones, because it is listening in. The microphone is being used. So there you go. Free information for you. Cybersecurity lesson 101. Don't download TikTok. Right. Okay. Look, we'll move on to some quick player ratings because wow, we've actually gotten almost an hour talking about the match. We've never done this before.
No way.
Never done this before, by the way. It's always split almost evenly between match and player ratings, but we're going to fly through them because we have discussed some players. But look, we'll start it off. Do you want to start from the front or from the back? Do you want to start from the front?
Let's do Gyökeres.
Yeah, let's do Gyökeres. Why not? Look, just quickly adding to what I've already said, he did have a few shots on goal. Unfortunately, again, that didn't work out. He was making the runs behind, just like we've already discussed. And for me, these guys here on Flashscore, they're giving him a 6.6. I think that's probably about fair. I'll probably go with a 6.5 to be honest, because again, even though he did certain things right, I just don't feel he did his specific job correctly. Do you know what I mean? He did right for the team or by the team, but he didn't do the job that he was meant to do, sort of thing. But yeah, what do you think? 6.5 from me.
Sky player ratings, give him a 5.
A 5,
which I think is extremely harsh.
That's harsh.
Yes, he had two chances, both saved by Leno. So he had 2 shots on target, and his overall game was pretty poor. His touches that I thought he had. He is lacking in confidence at the moment, but I don't think he was as bad as a 5.
No.
And I think that, like I say, the rest of his game that Shearer was alluding to on Match of the Day, I think that in itself is probably enough to warrant at least a 6. I know obviously it's irrelevant whether he scores a 1 or a 10. We've won the game.
Yeah.
So he's done his job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But again, it's more trivial. But for us as Arsenal fans, I think we sort of watch him in a different light to what other people are watching him.
Yeah.
Because obviously for them, it's like, well, he's not scoring goals, so I don't care what he's doing. He's not scoring goals. But the fact that he is there and being involved in what he does, I feel like that's really helping out the rest of the team. And even players like Trossard, who, again, even though we're saying he's not doing much, but he's everywhere. You know, he's picking up the ball on that left-hand side, even though most of the time he's not really going anywhere. But again, he is more involved. And I feel like maybe Martinelli should have been a perfect starter for this match. But again, hindsight and all that. Trossard then. Goal scorer, they've given him a 7.6. I'm happy with a 7, to be honest. I think that's just because of the goal. Nothing more from me.
Yeah, I mean, the Sky gave him a 7, and that's purely only what... I mean, with Arteta, this is where I think he does get his selection wrong, and I think it's with Trossard and Martinelli. I think he's getting them mixed up in when he should play them. I think Trossard's a home player, personally, and that Martinelli is the away player when we can get... We're getting sort of sucked in or whatever, and we need to catch people on the break, and we've got pace. Trossard for me was absolutely non-existent until he scored the goal. Absolute waste of space. Should have been playing with... We could have put Norgard at left wing or bloody Kepa at left wing. He was that ineffective. But like you say, he pops up at the goal. He's small. He's probably doesn't get noticed because he's small. I don't know. But to me, he didn't do anything other than score the goal. But like you say, he could have put anyone in that position and they'd have put it in the back of the net. So yeah. So, to me, Trossard's a decent. He's a decent sub. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't think anything's changed this season from me. How I feel about Trossard. So in terms of his attack, just for some quick numbers: touches in opposition box 9, which I feel like that's quite all right. But as a winger, maybe you should be aiming a little bit more. We'll have a look at Saka's very shortly. Big chances missed. That was not available apparently because one chance that he scored. Successful dribbles.
He did miss a chance though, didn't he? He did have a chance. Eze crossed it, and he took it down and just pulled it wide.
I don't know what constitutes as a big chance for these guys. Like I don't know if it's like the distance of where he is. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how. So from according to these, it was NA. But the one that was interesting was successful dribbles 0 out of 1. So attempted 1 wasn't successful. I think that's, you know what I mean? This is what we're talking about when we're saying he's non-existent. It's like, dude, you need to do something. At least Martinelli will take on a couple of players. But yeah, I think passes wise, again, very, very middle of the road, very average. Like nothing to scream about. But got the goal. So let's just forget all of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 7 for me. What did you say? What rating did you give him?
They give him 7.
Okay.
And I'll go with that.
Yeah, I think that's normal, isn't it? And then Saka, these guys are giving him an 8.1.
Okay, they've given him an 8. And he was player of the match, by the way. According to Sky Sports.
Same here on Flash Scores as well. But I mean, okay.
No, I mean, what I saw of him, all that stuck in my mind was him giving the ball away very, very cheaply initially in the first 20, 30 minutes. But then again, everyone was guilty of that. He did improve in the second half. He had a couple of better dribbles. He had a chance to, when he went into the box, I think he took a few players on, and I think he got blocks and potentially he could have passed. But again, this is my old gripe against him. He should always pass in a better position, but he's a bit of ball greedy because, this is Saka. He wants to be known as the star boy. So as much as he did have a decent game, there was elements of his game where I thought he should be doing better. And is that down to the fact that they've just come back from the international break and it's this stop-start higgledy-piggledy? We'll never know until probably later on in the year. But to me, I just thought he was okay. I don't think he was out special. He certainly wasn't man of the match to me, but what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was man of the match. And I mean, just some quick numbers here. Total shots 2, expected goals 0.07, XG on target 0.02. And I mean, that says it all. 1 shot on target, 1 block shot, and 2 shots inside the box. He had 13 touches in the opposition box with 6 out of 7 successful dribbles, which I feel that's normal for a winger. You should be doing that anyway. Nothing really special there. 13 touches in the opposition box. Is that a million miles away from what Trossard was doing? Not really. But because obviously Saka keeps getting the ball towards his side, it just seems like he's busier, which, fair enough. You can trust him more as a player. And again, looking at these numbers, you can see why. But even with the passes, very middle of the road, 68% accurate passes. Accurate passes in final third, 60%. Accurate long passes, 50%. Anyway,
that's poor.
It's, again, yes, it is poor. That's what I'm saying. Just looking at the numbers alone, which luckily for us, that's not how we judge a football match. But looking at our players, that doesn't make for good reading. And again, tell me where the man of the match comes from here. When, if anything,
I don't know.
If you're going to give him man of the match, you might as well just give it to Trossard because he scored the goal. He was the tiebreaker. Done. Right? Why even bother with this? So personally, and obviously you are in agreement as well, that I just don't think Saka is at the level where everyone is putting him at, well, where they want him to be. He's not at that level. I'm sorry, but it just, that is the way that he has been playing for all this time. And again, Arsenal podcasts that I listen to, that I genuinely adore. Like, listening to every week, I'm like, right, when is that coming out? I can't wait to listen to this episode. And most weeks when they're talking about Saka, especially after we've won and he hasn't had much of an impact in the match, it's always like, oh, well, Saka did this. It's like, did he? Can you just point to me when he did this? And then I'll be like, right, okay, fine. I'll agree with you because I watched the full of that match. Do you know what I mean? I watched it all, as did you, and did we? I think most of our messages were like, "What the fuck is Saka doing?" Do you know what I mean? Saka shit. That's usually the message that I get. But again, not for good reason. He had 86 touches all together in attack. Do you know what I mean? 86 touches, like, that's nothing to brag about, really, is it? Is that world class? I don't think it is. No. But anyway, all right. So they've given it 8.1. Personally, if I've given Trossard a 7 for scoring a goal, I'll probably just 6.9 on Saka. I can't give him more than Trossard. Do you know what I mean? Even though he was part of the cross, he was the assist maker. I just can't give him any more than that. Unless I've given Trossard too low. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like you say, his game did improve. I mean, there was someone who put like a compilation of Saka's best bits, and I think there was 2 dribbles. There was one where he took the ball out the sky from Trossard, and people were saying, "Oh, magic from Saka." But I thought, well, yeah, he took the ball out the sky, which anyone else would do if they're a professional footballer who play every day and get 200 grand a week or whatever. And then he went to the bar line and he didn't beat the first man. He got blocked and he didn't even get it in crossed in. I'm thinking, anyone half decent, not world class, anyone half decent would have got that ball back into the centre circle.
And what makes it worse, real quick, Stevie, is that we have Dauman and Nwaneri who will do exactly that. And they have a bit more. Anyway,
I just think with Arteta, I think I understand where he's always going safe, isn't he? And this is Arteta's ultimate downfall. I think he's too much of a safe type of guy. And with the likes of Saka and Trossard, it's that safe element. It's like he feels comfortable because they're experienced, they're older. But that ultimately probably won't win us the big trophies because it's not direct enough. It's just the fact that Arteta won't take risks, and we'll keep coming back to this probably throughout the season, but that's my personal view on it, and probably yours as well. It's the safe aspect of Arteta that's probably going to be the downfall, but I hope it's not, and I hope he does realise, and he gives, when Madueke comes back, I pray that he puts him in, because he shouldn't really be out. I mean, I know he's injured, but it's not down to his fault. He was playing superb, wasn't he? And that's why we did so well against who we did. Well, we'll see. Go on.
Do you know what? I will have to admit and apologise that I totally forgot about Madueke for a second there.
Yeah. But to come back.
You're absolutely right, yeah. And I think Madueke is the perfect example. I know I mentioned Dauman and Nwaneri, but yeah, Madueke is the perfect example of doing exactly what you said, going to when you're running towards a defender and he's not afraid of it. But again, I still maintain that Saka needs to get out of this mental state of I am the star boy, I need to do this. You've got other players, mate. They'll help you out, you help them out. That's how this works, okay? And again, obviously, like I said, I know you got the
shit as this may sound, fucking unpopular opinion, if Madueke comes back, I'm kind of hoping for a bit of an injury from Saka. As shit as that sounds.
There's probably better ways to put that, right? Not so much an injury, but let's just give him a rest, okay? Let's give him a rest.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry, all you Starboy lovers.
Of course. Please don't at us at anything. Right, okay, let's just move on before we get mobbed, all right? Let's just move on before we get mobbed. Eze. Let's move on to Eze. These guys have given him a 7.1, and I'll be honest, I don't even want to read the numbers because they are just terrible.
They've given him a 6, which I think is quite fair.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I was going to be with that, to be honest. But, look, just real quick, 62 minutes, he had one shot on total shots, one block, so literally one shot. That's all he had, and that was blocked, right? And that was from the outside. Literally, there's nothing else. Successful dribbles, 1 out of 2, 39 touches in opposition box, 1. So again, that just shows his positioning, where he can't. You cannot have Eze in the middle of the park. You just can't do it. Even there, like passes, for example. I mean, his passing is fair enough, like 78% accurate. 89% accurate, which is not too bad. Again, that's fair because he can do that, but you just put him in the right position for him to do that. you can't expect him to do magic from fucking the goal line, from our goal line. So yeah, I think unfortunately for Eze, probably the worst game that he's had for Arsenal so far. And yeah, 6.
But is that down to him, or is that down to Arteta telling him where to play? We can see it as an observer from afar. We ultimately we have Arsenal's best interest at heart, and we're not criticising the players. Is it the fact that Arteta's not playing the players to their strengths, like we keep saying from the start? Is Eze, he's too deep, he should be further forward, or should he be on the left? Play a different play Wanyeri in there, play Dauman as opposed to, or play Norgard even, and put Eze out onto the left. It's not his fault, and it's not Gyökeres's fault. Is it Arteta's fault? We don't know. We won't know this until the end of the season and to see where we finish.
Yeah.
But there's things that we're picking up on, pundits are picking up on, and it's not, and players. I've been thinking about this for the last few seasons, that when Arteta gets a player, do they seem to regress in ability when he has them, because he takes out that that unique maverick type of style to their play. I don't know.
I think we should probably decide this or judge him at the end of the season rather than speculate now, because again, it could just be totally different, and the next week we'll be like, oh fucking hell, I can't believe we were wrong or whatever. So yeah, I don't really want to speculate, but yeah, again, that's why I said at the top of the episode, I want to take, when I talk about Eze, is in isolation for this match only. Like I have absolutely no problems with Eze for us so far. I think he's been brilliant, and I really love seeing him play. But you're right, and I think it's not just the fact that he played Eze in a wrong position or asked him to do the wrong role. But if you recognise that and you're ready to take him off because he's in the wrong role, it's not like he was tired or anything. He was just in the wrong position. Then again, like you said, put in a Norgard, sacrifice someone else. Do you know what I mean? If for the worst case scenario, sacrifice Gyökeres, for example, because the way that we play, we don't need the striker to score goals, as we've already discussed this. So it's these little things that, again, we don't get paid for it, right? We don't make that money, so who the fuck are we? But like you said, we are watching the football match. We are watching this. We know what the hell we're looking at. We've seen enough to see to make a decision. But yeah, for me, just to finish off on Eze, I think a 6 is probably the most I would ever go, and I think you're in agreement with me on that one. So far, flash scores have been absolutely generous with the Arsenal players. But either way, right, Zubimendi.
Usual Zubimendi, isn't it?
I think it's
didn't give the ball away.
Yeah,
played just a standard across the back, spray the balls from back to front, left to right, back to the keeper, to the right back. He's just that cog in the middle, isn't he? That he does every single game, and he's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect for what we want. So again, they've given him a 7, and I can't really deny that he didn't do anything spectacular. He didn't do anything wrong, and the stats, I don't know whether you've got them. I don't think you give the ball away or anything. So yeah, to me, Zubimendi was Zubimendi.
Yeah, I mean, look, attack-wise, he had 1 touch in the opposition box and 82 touches in general, like in the attacking phase, which is fine because, again, that's not what he really is. But passing, 95%. So, you can't...
Spot on.
Accurate passes in the final third, 83%, which, again, things that we see. Accurate long passes, out of 5, he had 3 successful ones. So again, it says 60%, but it's 3 out of 5 for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? It's like you missed fucking 2 out of 90 minutes. So, and again, duels, aerial duels, he had 1 of 1, so 100% on that one. Ground duels, 1 of 4, 25%. But again, it's because of the whole midfield wasn't really clicking, I can't really be like, oh, Zubimendi was weak there, because it's not really what he does. That's why Rice is there as someone who's a bit stronger. But yeah, Zubimendi doing his things, I think it's just a blanket 7. As we've said before, I think we need to just rate him from 7 onwards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not really, they've given him a 6.9. It's a bit harsh. 0.1, shocking. But yeah, Zubimendi, I'm glad that we have him. That's all I can say about him. Declan Rice, right.
I'll just quickly just tell you the scores, because they all got a 7 from Rice, Zubimendi, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, and Ray. They all got a 7. So I won't say that, but we can discuss them individually. But Rice, he was everywhere, wasn't he?
Absolutely everywhere. I think
everywhere,
every blade of grass
running around, and he was doing what I expect Rice to do for 105 million, barring scoring. He was everywhere, and that's what I want to see week in, week out. Him being everywhere, being that midfield kind of commander that just breaks stuff up, tries to get the attack going, defends, gets feet in, tackles the lot, and I think maybe not man of the match for me, but he was very, very close to who I wanted to choose, but we won't go there yet. But yeah, I thought he did it. I thought he had a good game.
I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. I won't spoil it. But yeah, even looking at his stats, by the way, accurate passes 96%. So accurate passes in the final third 93%, and accurate long passes 5 out of 7, 71%. So again, very aerial duels 1 4 out of 4. So yeah. And it was 9 duels in general, overall, sorry, and 4 out of 4 aerials and 1 out of 5 ground duels won. Which, again, I'm not gonna, and 2 clearances. Not gonna really, sacrifice him or fucking crucify him for that shit. But yeah, he was absolutely everywhere. They're giving him a 7.3. I think for Rice, again, because I've given Trossard a 7, but he scored a goal, I think Rice has to be a little bit higher. I know he didn't score, but I think he'd probably a little bit higher. Like it's probably 7.3.
Yeah,
I'll agree with these guys. What do you know? They know what they're talking about. So, but yeah, definitely one of his better games, especially this season. Right. Do you know what? Should we do Calafiori? Let's do Calafiori.
Okay. Man of the match.
100%. 100%. There's no even. I can't even discuss that any further with anyone. It's
yeah. I don't even want to say anything about him other than man of the match. To be fair, we can kind of discuss individual bits and bobs, but I think man of the match for me. He's getting better and better each game. I just hope he stays injury free, but at the same time, I'm desperate to see Hincapie. But it's nice that he is becoming the player that we thought we would buy in a year ago. But obviously the injuries and everything, sort of stopped that from sort of playing out. So yeah, hopefully, he can stay fit and long may it continue.
I'll be honest, I didn't think that's what we bought Calafiori for. I thought it was just like someone to slot in for like a Lewis Skelly or a Timber or something like that, and just sort of get a job done. But what he's turned out to be, I mean, every match we're praising this guy. Like every single fucking match, every podcast that we're doing, we're just praising Calafiori and what he does. And again, he merits all of that shit, because he is. When we say Rice is everywhere, Calafiori is on a different scale of everywhere. Like, that movie, Everything Everywhere at Once, or whatever it is. That's what Calafiori is. He is that guy. He's seen quantum mechanics, right? When he wakes up.
Is it everyone everywhere or something like that? He is, isn't it?
Everything everywhere at once or something, all at once.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, this guy is like quantum mechanics personified.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, just some of the stats really. 2 touches in the opposition box, 50 touches in general, 87% accurate passing, 89%, so 8 out of 9 passes in the final third, by the way, from a fucking left back. Like,
how dare he be offside anyway for that goal? I mean, what a fantastic goal! If that had gone in, wow.
Right.
Wow.
The only way to enjoy that goal
if that had stood, sorry, if he wasn't offside.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the only way to enjoy that goal is in slow motion, because of the way that he kicks it just so awkwardly with the inside of his left foot.
Beautiful.
Left foot from the left-hand side of the box. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I jumped for joy. I really did. It was a shame. Because obviously as soon as I jumped up, I was like, oh, wait,
yeah,
that's probably offside. And yeah, unfortunately he was, but that would have been just a fantastic goal, and a well-deserved goal as well. A very fitting goal as well, by the way, because, you know, he plays beautifully. That was a beautiful goal. It would have all fitted in, but, you know, whatever.
Elegant, isn't he? He's like an elegant Maldini type, you know, slick.
Exactly.
You know, unflustered. Bit slow, but Maldini was never quick, was he? So it's, quick, yeah. You know, what he does, he makes up for in his elegance, I suppose.
I think what he's relentless, isn't he? That's what Calafiore is. He's relentless, but the fact that he's a big guy as well and very physically fit, that's what makes him even better, because it's like, oh, you're agile as well, mate. Like, damn, you can move. You know what I mean? You can turn.
Yeah.
But obviously,
he runs a bit like rhubarb and custard.
The infamous duo, yes.
Diddle-a-doo. Quality, technically good player.
Yes.
Great addition to the squad. Like you say, 10 out of 10 performance-wise. Unfortunately, he didn't get the goal, but yeah, man of the match, and long may it continue.
Yes,
young
absolutely.
Larry.
And I think when you say 10 out of 10, I think he was definitely closer to an 8, because when I say that, I mean relative to everyone else, I think he's the only 8 that we've had.
Yeah, I didn't mean him getting a 10 out of 10. I just think 10 out of 10 for he is the man of the match. But yeah, 8.2 or something like that for a score.
Absolutely agree. Anything 8 and above, I'm happy with for Calafiore, because he's brilliant. Right, moving on to our midfield. Our 2 centre backs.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly go back to Rice. Remember the shot he had outside the box where I thought it was in. I actually jumped for joy. I thought it was in, but he curled it. It was a similar shot to when he scored against Chelsea.
Yeah. That was 51st minute. That was added time, wasn't it? That was added time. So because I was like, 51st minute. When did fucking second half start? Then I realised that it was just excessive amount of added time. But yeah, that would have been again another just cherry. If both of those goals had gone in, by the way, and that's how we won that match.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please come again, right? 2 centre backs. Now they've given Gabriel 7.4, but I feel like that they've only done that because of the sort of
the assist.
Was it an assist? It was more of a neck sort of movement, like.
I think they're giving it because of Silva's post-match interview, didn't they, where they said he's the best at whatever, and we can't control him, he's a monster, and that's probably why he got a higher score. But in general, I didn't think he had a great game. I thought he was caught out quite a lot. He gave the ball away quite a lot. Yeah. But he does what Big Gabby does, and he gets in the position when we've got a corner, and he's fucking massively missed when he's not playing. We do notice him, don't we, when he's not playing. As much as Mosquera can come in and do a fantastic job from set pieces, he is the ultimate weapon.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, he's definitely the fucking card up the sleeve, isn't he? Really. So, but yeah, in this match, I felt like it wasn't his sort of strongest because of it just felt a bit sloppy. Do you know what I mean? It felt like a game where he could potentially even got like a yellow card or close to a red. Do you know what I mean? It just felt like one of those matches for him. And unfortunately, we have to take the good with the bad, because yes, he is fantastic for most of the time. 90% of the time he's brilliant, but that 10%, that's when he loses his head, and then a red card comes out, or he gives away a goal or a penalty because he's late on the lunge and he thinks, right, I've got time. Again, I've made this comparison before, but I really hope it's not going to be true, and I hope it doesn't turn out like David Luiz, because David Luiz was, again, in his prime, was fantastic, but when he lost his head, he lost his head.
Yeah.
And which is weird to say, by the way, because you could find him, just look at the hair. So, but yeah, I think with Gabriel, I think he was very, very good. So in general, he's very good in the box, especially when we have set pieces. And yeah, secret weapon, absolutely. And if he gets blocked, that's when we don't score. So, and sometimes if he gets blocked, we just don't score for the full match. So, but yeah, the little sort of tap on assist to Trossard kind of helped his score here, but I just don't think he was a 7.4. If they give us Saliba 7.1, I'm gonna go ahead and give Gabby the same thing, really. 7.1 for both. Yeah. Because not much to really discuss there with them, is there?
Yeah. To be fair, I think Saliba had a better game overall.
Yes, no mistakes.
I think he was a bit more confident, a bit more competent, a little bit more assured. Didn't give the ball away whereas Big Gabby did. But then again, it could be like what I was saying before, where they've just come back from the international break and they tend to be a bit tired, a bit sloppy. You know, it's a long way from Brazil or wherever he was at. You know, I think Saliba wasn't as far, so it's, you don't know, all these things could play a slight part in it. But again, Saliba, Gabriel, you can't really separate them, can you? Both probably a 7.
I think Gabriel and Martinelli. Gabriel and Martinelli, they went to, I think, Japan was the furthest they went to, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Was it
they did, because they got beaten there.
Yeah. So I think, so Japan, there we go, 3-2 on the bench, they lost. I think, so I'm happy for both our centre backs to have that. But yeah, Gabriel had 2 errors leading to shots. So for me, that's why I can't really justify giving him higher than Saliba, to be honest. And then Yuri Timber, I felt like he had a quiet game.
Quiet, steady, solid. Who was he up against? Ex-Arsenal winger, wasn't it?
Iwobi, yeah.
Who?
It was Iwobi.
Iwobi, that's right, yeah. So he's quite a tricky player, Iwobi. He's decent. He's probably better than Trossard, if I'm on honesty.
Would have been a good sub, I'll be honest. A good sub for us instead of Trossard. But you know, he's proven himself. He scored goals, so I can't talk shit about him.
Yeah, I think as a winger goes, as someone who's going to take players on, he's more direct than Trossard, and I think he would probably offer more, and I think he would probably give more in opposed to Martinelli. I think if we had Iwobi as opposed to Martinelli and Trossard, I would have been probably happy. But you know, swings and roundabouts, I suppose, isn't it? But I thought, Timber, decent game, but nothing flash. Just a decent game.
I think probably the same as the 2 centre backs, to be honest. Just a 7. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. He had 4 out of 7 ground duels won, 2 clearances, 1 foul committed. Again, nothing really massively exciting. So, and finally, Raya.
Standard 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just a standard 7 for Raya. What did he do? So accurate passes, 58 accurate passes, which again, it means nothing. He's a goalkeeper, so I'm not going to read those stats. But I think with Raya, same as always, or same as it has been for the most of the matches this season. Not really much to discuss there. He had that great save, which from Josh King, which is really good to see. But yeah, not really called into action too much. To be fair, so
also he didn't at the. Just quickly, I'm just going to go back to the Saka incident with a penalty, and I found the bit that I was on about with the Liverpool and Man United game. Now, what it was Diallo's challenge on Gakpo. Don't you remember it? But basically, he didn't get a yellow card, but he did exactly the same thing. So he won the ball, and then he caught Gakpo, and they were all up in arms saying he should have been a yellow card, but it was just a free kick. But he got the ball first, which I understand that, and that's the right decision. But they were like sort of up in arms. But with Saka, it was the other way around, and we didn't get anything. We didn't even get a free kick.
Nothing. We got absolutely.
Which, if it was outside the box, we would have, and he'd have got a yellow card. So I'm like, it's completely, and something should be like, there should be like an inquiry on it. You know, there should be they should all get together and say, look, why is this happening constantly to Arsenal? Because it's always against them, and anywhere else it's not. So it pisses me off anyway, to say the least. And I know it pisses probably everyone else off, and it's just as the norm, isn't it? Yeah,
I think if there's going to be any sort of committee to look at this or whatever, I think people will not like that. They'll be like, oh, look at Arsenal fucking complaining again, which I think we're well within our rights to do, to be honest. But it's just the state of football right now, where it's like, well, these guys are just going to complain and bitch about it. But you know what? It's fine. We'll just do our talking on the pitch. We'll get the wins, and I'm happy with it. Do you know what I mean? By
I think I mentioned that, didn't I, at the start of the season, maybe 2-3 games in, that we know that everyone's going to be against us this season. Last season we were like, fuck me, we're doing everything trying to be right, and everything's sort of stacking against us, every card, every decision, all the injuries. I think this season we've said, look, we know we're going to get every decision against us. We just need to. I think that's when it wasn't. And Arteta did that, didn't he? He said, like, keep going, keep the momentum going, because if you let your head go at that point, last season we could have capitulated and possibly lost or drew even. But this season we've kind of stuck at it, and I think that's the mentality now, that we know that things are going to go against us, but we've just got to, stay focused, and hopefully things will, work out in the end.
Yeah, and I like that from Arteta as well, because it sort of signified that he'd seen the replay and he's like, right, let's just carry on. Like, there was no argument or further argument from Arteta, so which is good, because again, we don't need the manager to start kicking off and whatnot, especially at that stage of the game. It's like, let's just carry on. So yeah, I mean, as an overall, I think it was just a good win to come out of it, to be honest. Yeah. I don't really have much else to add, to be fair, Stevie. Right, we have been going on for about an hour and a half. I would have loved to discuss some Formula 1, but maybe we can do that another time. But I will just quickly, on F1, if you've got a few minutes. First of all, by the way, what did you actually think of the overall race?
It was decent for a bit, but I could kind of see what was happening, because obviously Norris didn't get past Leclerc early enough, Demo. And yeah, I mean, personally, it was a pretty flat race, to be fair. There was no excitement. It would be nice if there was rain or something like that, but yeah, once Max got away and Leclerc was he holding Lando up? Possibly not, who knows, but he did well on the soft tyres. He got past him in the end, but he was probably never going to overtake Max anyway, unless he undercut him if he got close enough and he was undercut when he did a stop. But in general, you can't really deny Max the fact that he's putting the gauntlet. You know what I mean? He's chasing them down, and you wouldn't put it past me if he does catch him and wins another title. Would it be his fourth or fifth? I don't know.
So it would be his fifth title, and I think it would also be the biggest points overhaul ever in Formula 1. And honestly, right now, if there's one guy to do it, it is Max Verstappen.
How many races are left? Is it 4 or 5?
Five races, but we've got Mexico this weekend, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all can change. I mean, if Piastri wins one and Max doesn't finish in the top 3, it would effectively be over, wouldn't it? Absolutely. You need Piastri to win one more, and I think that would do it.
That's it. I think Piastri has realised that as well. I think that's why he's been performing so badly since Baku. But look, obviously, I've said before, I've changed my mind on Verstappen from when I used to be like, oh, fuck that guy. It's like, no, I respect how good of a fucking driver he is. He's just the best out there right now. But I would love to see Piastri win the world title. That's it for me, and I really hope that Mark Webber has enough in him to teach Piastri to mentally just be like, right, just let it roll off your back, mate, and you're good to go here. You're in prime position to win this title, right? You cannot let this slip out your hands. He will forever be known as a bottler, right?
Yeah,
which is going to be harsh, because it's like, this is, what is it, third season with McLaren, and he's already fighting for a championship in comparison to Norris's 8th season. So do you know what I mean? So again, everything has to be relative. But yeah, I like how you mentioned Damon Hill there, because that, for me, this is why I wanted to bring up this conversation, is because obviously it is British media. I don't know why they keep insisting on this, but in accordance with Damon Hill, who, by the way, is a Formula 1 fucking champion, 96 Formula 1 champion, for him to go out there and be like, well, if Norris had beaten Leclerc to turn 1, he would have challenged Max. It's like, what? When did this happen? Or when did they get NOS, installed in their car for him to catch up Max? I mean, Lando literally came out in the post-race interview and he was like, no, I wouldn't have caught Max. I had trouble overtaking Leclerc for 40 laps. There's no way in hell he was going to catch Max. So I don't really... Okay, I get it.
He was 3/10 of a second behind in qualifying or something, wasn't he, as well? So that in a race is 15, 20 seconds eventually, isn't it? So
it was just never going to happen. And by the end, Max just put his foot down, and after, he looked after the tyres a little bit, put his foot down and then just went. But I get that, Damon Hill likes Norris, or wants Norris to win the championship. I get that. That's fine. I get it. He's British, whatever, right? Love yourselves in a different medium. But for him to come out and say something like that from an F1 champion, it's just baffling. And I like Damon Hill. Do you know what I mean? I really like him. I really respect his opinions. I love listening to him when he's talking on the checkered flag, for example, on the podcast. But it's like, dude, okay, can you just make your bias less obvious, please? Because we see what you're saying here, but it's just not computing for anyone. So I just wanted to clear that off, because obviously I was listening to that part of their podcast this morning, and that's when I was sending you the voice clips. I should have just put the voice clips in, to be honest. I explained it better there with a lot more.
No, I think the best. I think, you know, if Piastri wins, Piastri wins. If Verstappen wins, Verstappen wins. You know, may the best man win.
Yeah.
And I think what would be brilliant for the sport is if they all within chance of winning it on the last race of the season would be fucking gold, TV gold, won't it?
Yeah.
If that's the case, and they're all equal, they're all sort of similar times, it'd be fantastic viewing. And I hope that is the case, because it'll be more exciting. Because it's not very nice when someone's already won it 2 or 3 races, like last year with Verstappen. You know, it's pretty boring, to be fair. So it would be nice. It would be nice and a nice spectacle if we can get them all sort of up there. And then obviously next season, if Lewis can do something, which at this moment in time you don't know, but obviously with all the rule changes and car changes, etc. next year, you never know.
Absolutely could do. And like you said, I just want to see some exciting racing. And I can't remember the last time we had a 3-way battle for the title. Can't remember the last.
There was some racing yesterday. It was quite good with Norris trying to get past Leclerc. It was really, really good racing, very fair, exciting. You know, they didn't push each other off, but you know, Charlie did defend really, really well, and you know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's good, honest racing, and that's what you want to see. You know, it would have been nice to see Norris trying to get anywhere near Verstappen, but as it was, you know, Charles did a good job. You know, it's a shame he couldn't push on, but obviously his tyres must have been going off. But you'd have thought his tyres would have got better. You know what I mean? Because they went off after his softs, didn't they? And everyone else's mediums were sort of getting better and, you know, more grip. And you'd have thought it would be the other way around, but it didn't work out like that, did it? It was strange.
No, it was. I think the Ferrari had an issue with the mediums throughout the sprint race as well. That's why when they had the actual qualifying, or like Q3, that's when they pulled out the red softs, and then they just went flying, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Where did Ferrari get that from?" But yeah, look, I'm with you. It's like, shit, if Norris had the pace to catch up to Verstappen, I would have loved to seen that battle first and second. You know, I would have loved to see it. Absolutely, I would have. But unfortunately, as it stands, I think McLaren, was it during Zandvoort or just after the summer break, I think they stopped developing their car. I think that's why we're seeing this sort of, not regression, but it's looking that way, really, isn't it? It's not sort of, they're not as dominant as they were until they won the championship, which makes me think, like, did they have something planned just to win the constructors and then say, well, don't care for the rest of the races, just whatever, you guys battle it out, which that's the way it feels like, to be honest. But yeah, well, look, it all remains to be seen. Mexico next, and like you said, all it takes is Piastri just to win one race, Norris to not score points, Verstappen not to score points, which again, I know it's very high probability that's not going to happen, but that's all it takes. One race like that, and Piastri's like, right, okay, well, I'm 60 points ahead now with 4 races to go.
Yeah. He's about, was he 40 ahead now, isn't he? I think.
Yeah,
he's
40 ahead of Verstappen and 14 ahead of Norris.
Yeah. So it's all to play for. It's fantastic, really. If Verstappen can get another win, that would be absolutely amazing for the sport, because it's just going to like put the pressure on the other two, and anything can happen then.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, so it remains to be seen. I'm looking forward to Mexico. I do like the track, and fortunately there's no Checo that they're going to do our heads in. We're like, oh, Checo's on. It's like, right, we get it. We know he's Mexican. Fucking hell. Calm down.
When is it? It's what time's the quali?
So it would be, I believe it would be late.
It's after clock.
I don't think it's that. It's not like Australia time. So hold on, let me just have a look here, because it's a good point.
It should be similar to the American one, is it?
So yeah, 7:30 is practice 1, which I know you don't really care for practice 1. So qualifying is actually at 10 till 11 on Saturday.
On Saturday night,
and then the Grand Prix itself is 8 till 10. So similar to the America race.
The American one.
And most likely we'll jump on if there's no technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, Stevie, we will leave it there. We will get it out. We've been on for an hour and a half, and hopefully you have enjoyed that. Not you, Stevie, the people listening. I know you've enjoyed it. You always love it. Yeah, again, I can see it in your face. You're drooling all over the place. You love it. But yeah, hopefully for people out there listening, hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you have, please leave a like, leave a subscribe, follow, review, all that kind of nice stuff. We really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay alert.
Au revoir. Oui, oui. CC.
Love it.